Quote, "Even the slightest fault looms large in the eyes of those who dread dishonor." Meaning of the quote: this quote highlights the deep sensitivity and self-awareness of individuals who live with integrity and strong inner values. For such individuals, mistakes, no matter how small, are not trivial. These people carry a natural sense of accountability. Their fear isn't external shame, but internal misalignment. They are not afraid of what others will think, they are afraid of what they will become if they overlook their own flaws. To them, honor is not a medal given by society, it's a reflection of their character, their truth, and their inner peace. A minor crack in that honor, even if unseen by others, feels heavy, because it threatens the harmony they work so hard to maintain within themselves. Spiritual perspective. From a spiritual standpoint, this quote speaks to the journey of inner purification. As one becomes more inwardly awake, their perception of right and wrong becomes sharper, not due to fear, but due to love for truth and purity. What others may see as minor, an unkind word, a lapse in mindfulness, a selfish impulse, is felt deeply by the one who walks the inner path sincerely. This heightened sensitivity isn't weakness, it's spiritual refinement. Like a white cloth that reveals even the smallest stain, a pure mind cannot bear the slightest disturbance in its clarity. In this context, dreading dishonor isn't about social shame, but about veering from the sacredness of one's higher nature. This also aligns with the idea of karma or energetic imprint. Even subtle actions carry weight. The spiritually aware person seeks not perfection out of ego, but wholeness out of love for the divine principle that lives within them. Scientific perspective. In psychology and neuroscience, several concepts shed light on this quote. 1. Conscientiousness and moral sensitivity. People high in conscientiousness tend to be diligent, careful, and rule-abiding. Studies show that such individuals have a low tolerance for errors, even their own. They experience higher levels of guilt or moral anxiety when they deviate from what they believe is right. 2. Cognitive dissonance. When our actions contradict our values, we experience cognitive dissonance, a psychological discomfort. The more we care about a value, the more discomfort we feel when we betray it. A person who deeply values honor will experience significant internal conflict even for a small misstep. 3. Neuroscience and error monitoring. The anterior cingulate cortex, ACC, a region of the brain involved in error detection and emotional regulation, becomes active when we recognize a mistake. People with a heightened moral compass may have stronger activity in this area, which means they are neurologically wired to detect and be disturbed by even subtle faults. This inner feedback loop helps keep behavior aligned with values, fostering self-regulation and ethical decision-making, even without external supervision. Let's bring this wisdom to life through a short story. The candle in the cave. Long ago, in a quiet village, lived a humble woman named Lyra, known for her honesty. She worked as a weaver, creating garments of such fine quality that even nobles sought her work. One day, while weaving late into the night by candlelight, her thread snapped, and in frustration, she tugged a little too hard, causing a tiny imperfection in the cloth, barely noticeable. The next morning, she looked at the garment. It was beautiful. Her apprentice praised it. The customer would never notice. But Lyra quietly took it off the loom and began again. Her apprentice asked, "Why waste such perfect work?" She replied, "Because I would know. And if I accept this, tomorrow I may excuse a bigger flaw. One day, I may forget what honor feels like." The customer never knew of Lyra's decision, but her heart remained light and pure. And in that purity, her craft continued to shine. How it applies to everyday life. this quote is a powerful compass for how we can live with awareness, intention, and integrity in modern life. 1. In work and professional life, an ethical employee might notice a tiny error in a report or a forgotten step in a process. Instead of ignoring it, they take time to correct it, even if no one else would notice. Why? Because their honor lies not in what others see, but in what they know they ought to do. Such people build trust. Over time, others recognize them as reliable and principled, not because they are loud, but because their inner code speaks louder than words. 2. In relationships, in close relationships, someone might feel regret for interrupting a loved one or not listening mindfully. To others, it's a small thing. But to the person who values connection and respect, it matters. This self-awareness helps deepen love and trust. 3. In personal growth, the quote invites us to examine our habits. Do we cut corners when no one is watching? Do we lie to ourselves about our intentions? The more refined our awareness becomes, the more uncomfortable these little misalignments feel. That discomfort is not punishment, it's guidance. 4. In leadership, true leaders hold themselves accountable before others do. A wise leader reflects deeply on decisions and doesn't wait for consequences to make corrections. They act from a place of the essence of this quote is about living consciously. In a world that often celebrates what's seen on the surface, this quote gently reminds us that true strength lies in invisible choices, the ones made in the heart, in silence, without applause. To dread dishonor is not to fear being wrong, it is to love being right, in the deepest moral sense. It's not a burden to carry, it's a light that shows the path. Thank you for joining this exploration of wisdom. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more insights into timeless truths. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, and every great idea begins with a strong foundation. See you in the next episode.